All right. So let's see a couple Fairy Tail decks. This is gonna be a slightly different one. I know a lot of people like to use like the Magistus stuff, which this deck is gonna use Magistus stuff, but it's only gonna be searching them. But like I'm not gonna be using, for instance, the Vera Magic. Although this is good for beating Troll. The one problem is like it's not searchable right now. Like with the new stuff, it is. When Regulus comes out, and then you can get Vera, then this will be useful. But it's not really useful right now. Yeah, this is not really useful right now. I mean, Vera is useful, or like the Vera spell is useful, but because like Vera comes out and then you can search this is probably a little better. Although honestly, I think there's probably I've never seen this art. It's really cute. Um, There's probably better stuff you can do with this than just like searching the Lacrima, although Lacrima is pretty useful. The reason why I don't like the Witchcrafter stuff, like I think I saw the Fusionist deck was using stuff like um oh my god, hate this software. Jenny. I really don't like using Jenny because this is just like a brick and like while Zora is technically not a brick, it is a one card combo, as is Liliana. Like yes, these are technically one card combos, and Spenta is a one card combo too. Well, that is true. I really hate combos like one cards like that are they're not bricks, but they're when they require normal summon. I really hate that. It's really not something I enjoy using. I'd much rather prefer Fairy Tail already uses your normal summon. I'd much rather just use the normal summon on the archetype that's like what I'm playing and generally is more impactful anyways, I think. Like I feel like Fairy Tail is a much more flexible archetype, although it can be stopped pretty easily if you just like Ogre or Luna. It's like okay, that's kind of annoying, but it is possible to like play around shit or play through shit. Like the deck has more going for it, I think, than just the Magistus part. And so it's kind of annoying when I have like draw a bunch of bricks in my hand. Like the more bricks you play, the more you're gonna draw them. And so like Vera is not a brick inherently, but let's say you draw like a bunch of hand traps and then Vera. Like this is not a one card starter, right? Your opponent has to do something for it to be a one card starter. So if everyone just does nothing and you draw a bunch of hand traps or like a super poly and a droplet, and let's say you draw like a Fua and Ash, and then you draw a Vera, that's not going to do anything. You know, you're just going to sit there like, I wish I had any card that was playable. So like Bear is good. It beats Droll for sure, but like I would rather just have like more hand traps, um, or have like other ways to, or I'd rather not play. Like I would like to play Bear, but I don't want to play a bunch of bricks like Zora. And then Roll Really is not a brick. It does cost your normal summon. Or like I don't want to have to play, especially I do not want to play Jenny. Like when this, well, not this thing. When this thing comes out, I will play this. Like I will probably play this then because like this is actually a good card, and Regulus is a good card. Like these are just good cards. But until then, I think I'd rather just play Fairy Tail by itself and like more pure build, as I prefer. Excuse me. I prefer a little bit more of flexibility as well as just not like it. It's just as easy to interrupt a Fairy Tail combo. Oh my god, excuse me. It's just as easy to interrupt a Fairy Tail combo as it is to interrupt the Magistus stuff. But like you get more out of a Fairy Tail combo. Like like normal summon Luna gets me more. Like if I normal summon Luna and then activate its effect, I get more out of that than if I go normal summon Zora, activate its effect, right? Like if they Ash my Luna, at least Luna is something on the field. Whereas if they Ash my, like if I go Rilliona, how do I suppose? If I go Rilliona and they just normal summon this and I Ash this, I'm kind of fucked. Like I can't do anything. Additionally, the main problem with these cards, and the main problem, like one of the biggest problems with these cards, that you cannot, they don't work with Match Girl or Match Giru. So like they're not, they are level 4s, so you can just make, Genya will help out with this, but they do not with Match Giru. So if you draw like Rilliona, Match Giru, both of those could be a normal summon. It's like, okay, I want to do a stronger normal summon, so I'll go with Rilliona. They Ash the Rilliona. You don't know what the, or if the only other way you have, or if the only other thing you have in your hand is Match Giru, you're not gonna be able to special summon it because it's not. They really doesn't have 18, or it doesn't have 1850 attack because none of the Magistus stuff does, right? They're all 1500, 1800, or 1000 basically, or this one's 800. But like none of them have 1850 is a pretty specific stat line. It's only with Charmers and Fairy Tales most of the time, and of course Genya, but this was like made for them. So that's kind of thing. Like you need to have like a certain stat line for in order for this card to work. It just doesn't. Like honestly, you could play this card at 2. I could see this card being played at 2. Honestly, in this deck, it probably would be a little better if at 2. For instance, I could lay like 2 and then just go Talents or something, or Called by, probably Called by, just to play through Droll, like have a better chance of playing through Droll. But you know, I think like because this card is good. It is a 1 card star technically, but Luna is generally better. Although the problem with getting rid of one of these cards is like you lose out. You don't have that many starters in this version of the deck, right? You have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 starters, 9 starters with instant fusion. Like that's not a lot of starters, but you have a number of ways to play as well. Like you can use Spenta if you really need to, but outside of that, the point is I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I do want to show this combo because some people have used like different combos. I think this is, I'm just use a, this is a 1 card Luna combo. Nope, that's not correct. This is a 1 card Luna combo, and yeah, I'm gonna show just what you can do with Luna. Probably saw some interesting stuff in the extra deck. This, the only problem with this, like, I probably wouldn't necessarily do this right generally because this does basically, this combo will cost like your entire extra deck, and it is interruptible for sure. But it's not like, I like this combo in that it doesn't have to play as many bricks generally, so I would much rather do something like that than have like I'd much rather have hand traps that do something rather than playing a bunch of bricks that don't do anything when I draw them. Like I was playing the version with all the Magister stuff in it, and it's like I just kept drawing a bunch of normal summons in conjunction with each other. Like I'd much rather have the normal summon that I want to draw. Like I'm fine drawing Luna. I don't want to draw like Luna and Zora and Crowley, which isn't a normal summon, but like I kept drawing Crowley over and over again with Zora too. I was like, this is so annoying. And then obviously I could draw Genya at some point. I was like, I really don't want to do that. Or not Genya, Jenny, excuse me. Oop, fuck. I fucked that up. Sorry about that. So I'm not gonna edit this video at all. So it's just gonna be long and edited. But basically, so this actually, I should say, this is a unique combo, I guess. Usually when you use, oh my god, I really don't like this software, but I'm doing this on Edo Pro just to show that it does work. Like that this combo does work, rather than just like doing combos that don't work and just pointing them out. Because like if I do a combo on DB, it's you're not going to know that it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, you're not going to know that it doesn't work because DB is obviously not an auto sim. Um, oh my God, why is this not working? There we go. There we go. But so I'm doing this on Edo Pro just to show that it does work. Because I have seen some people do combos that on DB, and then people in the comments go like, this doesn't work. You're right, and they're like, oh yeah, my bad. Anyways, point of what I'm trying to say is this combo is not unique because I'm actually not going to trigger Once Upon a Time here, so we're going to keep this in the graveyard, and you'll see why later on. So yeah, we go Luna, normal summon, basically like normal summon Luna, search Magic Guru. Then we're gonna make our activate ball, search second Luna, summon Wickhat, send Once Upon a Time and Tails. Tails effect to attach or to equip to Wickhat. Then we're going to normal summon out the second Luna that we searched. And Luna effect. We are now going to search out Genya. You only need one Genya for this combo. I'm playing 3 just because it's a good extender, but like you only need three, so you only need 1 for this combo. So now we're going to use the fusion effect of Tails. We're going to summon out Weaver using the Luna and the Genya that we just searched. Zone placement here isn't really too much of an issue, but you do want to I just use the middle and the leftmost zone just for like consistency purposes. That way I know that I'm always summoning in places that don't matter. So we summoned Snow from the deck using the Weaver effect. Now we are going to go into Artemis using the Snow, and then we're some of the other combos. We're going to go into Endymion, Magistus Endymion. Then we're going to go Endymion effect, target itself, of course. We're not going to change it. That's saying Snow. We're going to target Magistus. We're going to target Artemis. Or we're going to not target. We're going to place our. We're going to equip Artemis. Then we're going to go Artemis effect to search out Crowley here. Or sorry, actually we're going to Spenta. We actually need, this is important. The reason why I'm playing Spenta, not just Crowley. Like I don't want to play Spenta, but you actually do need it for this combo. And I guess it is useful. Like Spenta is a better card than Crowley generally. But anyways, we're playing Spenta, so we're going to activate Spenta here to search the Crowley. Now we have Crowley. So now we're going to go Crowley effect. If I can, thank you. So we're going to Crowley. No, I'm not going to activate Snow. Now we're going to go Crowley effect. Again, we're not going to activate Snow. We're going to summon Zora, the Zora fusion using the Wickhat and the Crowley. And this is actually funny. The Zora here is actually going to act as a combo piece. So we're going to equip something. It's better to equip the Crowley just because it's a card, but we don't actually need that. So now that we have these two on field, we're actually going to link. We're going to fuse off, not fuse, but like we're going to special summon the Chorozo. And now here's where the reason why we kept the Once Upon a Time in the graveyard is because, oh my god, there we go. So the reason why is because Selene has to have, in order to special summon, we need to have 3 spell kinds, which means we have 3 spell cards on the field and our graveyard. If you notice, we only have 1 in the field, and we have 2 in the graveyard. See? So if we had set the Once Upon a Time, Selene would not actually have enough spells to get the proper amount of spell counters that we can. So we would not be able to summon a monster from the graveyard. So we are then going to summon this here. We're going to summon. It really doesn't matter what you summon. It just has to be a level 4 lower spellcaster realistically, or not really even doesn't even. That's not even true. It just has to be a spellcaster. But I'm just going to summon Luna because if you do somehow get stopped here, at least you have Luna on board, which does do something on board. I guess technically you could have summoned technically I guess it would be better to do something like summon the Weaver, I guess at that point, but like I just summoned it for fun. But I guess yeah, technically it would be better to summon Weaver, just in case you get stopped. Anyways, now we're gonna make the Charmer link here. Using these two. Again, zone placement here doesn't really matter. But now we're gonna go with the Charmer effect to summon out a Luna as well as the Weaver. And we're not going to negate that effect with Zora. Although I guess this is funny, like you could, funnily enough, you could actually negate your own monster effect. Then, because Zora doesn't negate and destroy any card, it just destroys, or doesn't negate and destroy the card that negates. It just destroys any card. You could negate your own monster effect and then destroy your card your opponent controls. So, like, funnily enough, if you wanted to stop something like you could actually use Zora as like a MST basically, because you could, for instance, like if I had Luna on field, I could chain Wiccat to like the activation of a, let's say like a Fairy Tale Ball or like a field spell. Like let's say they activate I don't know, let's say like they activate Primite, the Primite whatever, this is not a good example. Let's say they activate Juke Joint and they activate the Affected Tribute. Sure, why not, right? So then you could go Chainlink 1, or you go Chainlink 2, Wiccat in the graveyard to tribute, or not tribute 2, to send, like to summon itself. And then you could go Zora Chainlink 3 to send itself. This is like really bad, but like you could go Zora Chainlink 3 to send itself, negate the Wiccat effect, then destroy any card your opponent controls. So you destroy the Juke Joint. That's like a big of a side tangent. Not really has anything, doesn't have to do anything with the combo, but it's like a little bit of a funny play you can do. Anyways, back to the combo. So now we have Zoro, which by the way, this is the one we'll probably have to send itself. But what we're going to do here is we have these two things on the field. So now we have these little guys. We're not going to do anything with those. So those guys are stuck for now. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to activate our snow effect. We are going to banish from the graveyard. We're going to banish one match. We're going to banish the Once Upon a Time, the match. And these are the most important cards we're going to banish are the Genya and then the Once Upon a Time, because we need to add those back. We need to get those back. We're gonna banish a match, Once Upon a Time, Genya, a Luna, so that's 4. Now we're gonna go back over here. We're gonna ban it. Now we're gonna banish the Chorozo, the Endymion, and the Selene. And that is 7 cards. And we're not gonna chain that. So then we are going to summon the snow. Now we are finally gonna get back the Once Upon a Time, and we are also going to get back our Genya, which we have not used the effect of yet this turn, because we fused with it from hand without using its effect, so we're going to set up the Once Upon a Time. Now we have this back. So now this can summon the match from the banishment. Right here we can summon either match or Luna. We're going to summon the match though. So we can summon the match from banishment. We can also summon something from the graveyard, so we get some Wiccat if we really want to. Not really necessary, but that's just, in case you want to. However, what we're going to do now, the most important thing what we're going to do now, is actually, we are going to banish the Spenta to target the Charmer just for fun. Doesn't really matter what you target, but we're just going to target the Charmer for fun. Now we are going to attach the Artemis from Grave. You could actually, well, I guess I was supposed to attach the Reliona XC from the extra deck, just because that way you have more cards in the graveyard for Snow next turn, but again, it doesn't really matter. This is just showing the proof of concept. So now we are going to you're going to summon the Chorozo using the Charmer as well as the Magistus, because although Charmer says that you cannot summon, or you cannot use it as a fusion material, synchro, or XD or link summon material, this is not considered a fusion material. It's considered a material for a special summon. So that's why you can use this. It's the same thing like why if you summon Black Witch off of, or if you summon, I can't remember, or if you summon Diabellstar off of Charmers, you can then use its, like, you can then banish it to summon the Dark Magician fusion, because it's not considered a fusion summon. So anyway, so we're going to use this to banish this, because this is otherwise useless, right? Just it has a lot of material on it, like it's 4 materials worth of monsters, but like it's literally useless. We've already used this effect. It's once while facing on the field, so it's completely useless at this point, just like a vanilla monster. So we're going to convert it into something useful. So now we have 2 monsters on the field. We're going to summon this Genya now. Really, again, does not matter what we target. These are all fucking fuck hashes anyways. So now we're going to do this, summon the Genya, and now we're going to make our final card, our final piece of interaction, which is the Golden Alarqueen. Now you could use this card to summon an Alarqueen monster from your deck or graveyard. I don't think that's good, to play another brick for no reason because the Alert Queens do literally nothing. I think at least I'd have to look at them again, but this is the only one that actually does anything. It's literally just a once per turn when your opponent, like a stop once per turn, by the way, once per turn when your opponent activates a card or effect, destroy a card on the field. Also, the Alert Queen monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. So basically, it's just a once per turn pop, like or like once per turn when your opponent activates a card effect pop. Really, this is actually really useful, like, especially against branded, because this deck's branded matchup is a lot harder to do. So like you just go because this is non-targeting destruction, so they just like they try to you go Alert Queen, they try to chain summon, get rid of something that you destroy. You can destroy whatever they summon. Like if you try to negate something, they like you try to negate their monster with either ball or Weaver. Then if they try to like fuse it away, like quick fuse it away, you can just destroy whatever they summon using Alert Queen, or you can just well yeah, make something like that, I guess, right? But anyways, yeah. So also this is really useful against Fallen of Albaz, which this deck also has a hard time dealing with because although you can obviously just like negate the Albaz, if you've already used your negates and they summon the Albaz, you're kind of fucked. Like you really don't want them to get Mirror Jade. It's really annoying to deal with. I mean, it's not annoying to deal with, but like you just don't want your monsters to get fused off or nothing. So this is like a really good card to use off Fall of Albaz because it just says again destroy one card on the field, so it destroys the Albaz as well as the fact that it doesn't target, so you can't even like stop it from targeting protection. Just a non-targeting destruction. Really, really useful. Yeah. So that's about it. That is the end of the combo. You have 1, 2, 3, kind of like technically 4, 5. Well, this is like an interaction because of snow, so you can like summon snow with this and summon. So you can summon the match and then snow. So like let's say your opponent like they draw. Let's say they normal summon their monster. They search it. Now we go. Bam. Okay, please. Just let me just do what I want. So now we can go from summon the snow from the graveyard, and we summon the match from the banishment. And this will allow you to chain block the match or chain block the snow. Usually, probably would want to chain block the match. Let's just sit there that you can just search that shit. Sure. Okay. Anyways, so now you can go. If you want, you can go Fairy Tale like Weaver, but this is not necessary. But realistically, what we want to do is go Chainlink 1 match to search, and then Chainlink 2 snow to flip, so you can chain block the match. And that allows you to flip the opponent's monster. And then, of course, okay, please stop. So then we can search out the ball for follow-up. So also, if you really need to, you can use this as snow fodder. But now, of course, you then have the Wickhat in the graveyard, as well as the fact that you have the Varathrania, or Varathrana. You can also bounce with Luna. So yeah, all a bunch of other shit, right? Yeah, so let's say like they target this shit. Sure, let's just target the fucking Varathrana. Of course, the only problem with this is we can't activate the Wickhat because in the graveyard because our entire board is locked up. So if you really want to, you don't have to summon Matchback if you really don't want to. But we still obviously have like the Fairy Tale Ball. We also have Varathrana Varathrana will have to get rid of itself to activate its effect because there's no other Magistus monster on the field or Magistus monster card. So basically, you'll have to like go Varathrana 1 and then like you have to wait to use Weaver. You have to either use Ball first or Weaver. Like you have to use Ball first and then Varathrana, or Varathrana and then Ball. If you want to use negate. So basically, though, we have sure. This doesn't matter. Okay. So, anyways, point is we have one negate, two negate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically, you also have 6. You have okay. We have we have 1 imperm, 2 imperm, kind of like 1, 2, 1 or 2 imperms. We have a bounce, like a semi bounce, depending on what they summon. Like if they have an extra deck monster in the field that they only they only play 1 of, for instance, if you're playing against branded, or if you're playing against like if you're playing against branded, they summon the Ecclesia Synchro. They're not going to be playing through that most likely, so you just bounce this. You can just bounce it if they try to special summon, like you try to banish it, you can just bounce it with this thing. So you have like a bounce, like a semi bounce, most likely. You have the imperm, omni negate, or no, yeah, this is, or no, sorry, monster negate. Yeah, sorry. Imperm, monster negate that can then destroy any card in the field, which is really good. You have a pop, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, technically, like 7 interruptions plus follow up is pretty decent, I think. And the only problem is like this does use up your entire extra deck. Of course, like you still have stuff you can play in it. Like you still have 5 cards left. You can still make Chronicler or like the Teller, which is Teller in TCG. You can still make Teller. I don't. The reason why I don't think Teller is as good as just like generally playing this is because Teller is much harder to make in a normal combo like this than it is anywhere else. Like you could make it pretty easily in some other things, and I know in like the Majesty stuff you make it, but again, I don't like the Majesty combos. I feel like they're more susceptible to interaction than the regular combos are. Like this, of course, does lose to a lot of shit still, but like I'd rather have more like a more pure build. Honestly, I feel like I'd rather play like a lot more. I think honestly, you could argue playing more than one once upon a time, just because it does let you summon from hand or graveyard, so like it acts as a semi like a better extender than a lot of other cards. Because like let's say you go Luna, like you have Luna and Once Upon a Time in hand, and you go normal summon Luna. They chain Ghost Ogre because that's it is being played against of like Cool Tune. So they chain Ghost Ogre. They destroy your Luna. You search out like the Match Lily or the Match Guru, or you search out another Luna, for instance. But you wouldn't do that. Like, you search out either Match or you search out the Genya. Then you can go Once Upon a Time, summon back the Luna, and then you either go Match or Genya to summon like one or the other, like whatever you searched. And that's you get to Wiccat, and then you can go from there, right? So like especially you can search out Match because then you can just go search out a ball, and then ball, or then you wait like XT into Wiccat, then Wiccat send Tails plus Snow at that point, and then you go activate ball, search another Luna, then Tails, like you just do the whole thing, right? Tails equips a Wiccat, then Tails or the normal summon the Luna search out the Genya, then fuse off into the Teller or Weaver, and then from there, like it's the exact same combo, right? So I feel like honestly, I'd rather play more Once Upon a Time than I would rather play cards like more bricks than like the Magus and stuff. Which again, they're not necessarily bricks, but in my mind, they're bricks because I'd rather be normal summoning a Luna, which gets me to more of what I want, than having to like go throughout an extensive combo to get to like one negate first. Which is not like the Magus stuff is powerful, but if power in Yu-Gi-Oh is all that mattered, then decks like Red Dragon Archfiend or any synchro deck would just be the best decks in the game, and they're not, right? They're not the best decks. The reason why stuff like Mitsurugi is so good is because it's so powerful. Like its end boards are really powerful, but it makes its end boards consistently through interruption. Like it's hard to interact with, it's hard to disrupt, it's hard to fully stop, and that's why it's so powerful because it makes strong end boards and it makes them through or despite being interrupted or despite being interacted with. Whereas like synchro decks, for instance, again just saying like Red Dragon Archfiend, these decks can have like really powerful end boards. Like you could have a bunch of fucking Crystal Wings on your end board. Like you could have 3 Crystal Wings on your end board. That's 3 monster negates. Like it's still really powerful. But if your combo loses to 1 Ash Blossom, you're probably not going to do very well in a modern format where the opponent has a lot of interaction for you in their main deck. So I don't know. I feel like the Magistus stuff is just more, or it's easier to disrupt in my mind, and like the Vera. Sorry, the Vera. This is not working. Holy shit. That's why. Okay. The Vera quick play is very good. I know I do see it. I do know it is a good card. Like this is a really strong effect, and it does help you play through interaction. So this is good. This is a good card. But the problem is you're summoning cards that are very easy to interact with. Like you're not summoning like if you summon Crowley, maybe that's a little hard to interact with because it's a trigger effect. But like if I'm summoning Zora, Zora in order to do anything has to first do a ignition effect, like ignition effect to target itself, then equip itself, then you equip it with either like you equip it with this. So like you have like 4 points of interaction, or 4 points where you can interact with this card to stop it. You could ogre it, you could ash the Artemis. Like this card on its own does not fully do any like has a lot of places you can interact with. It is a strong card. Like this can lead to strong combos, but like sure you could also summon the Reliona, but again it's the same thing. Like if this gets stopped, if they ash the Reliona, you're not really doing much, right? Like that doesn't really help. The good thing is, of course, the Vera quick play can summon out the Witchcrafter Jenny, which is not a good card, but it does let you combo further because you summon out Jenny with the quick play, then you link off into Artemis, then you go Jenny in the graveyard to banish itself plus the quick play, which then lets you summon out the Zora or Reliona. Well, no, you summon out the Zora. You go summon out Zora, and then Zora effect to target the. Well, I don't know. You equip like I guess you would equip with another Artemis from your extra deck, but like you're just playing more extra deck space at that point. Yeah, I think another problem with the Magus stuff, which I don't like, is that it just takes up so much extra deck space. Like even in this deck, like this is more of like a proof of concept. I don't even know if I would play this kind of deck in reality because it just has so much extra deck space that needs for this. And like it like the super polys are a lot worse without more shit you can do. Like technically, I can do stuff like the Sea Monster Theseus as well as this does work against branded. Like the Chorozo does do shit against you can summon against branded. You could also argue for only playing one Wiccat. I like playing two just because if the first one gets stopped before you can use it, then you can just summon the other one. Also, like I mean, realistically, you only need to activate it once. Like you only need to resolve it once. So you could argue only playing one. It's up to you. I mean, I like playing two just because I have gotten to situations where like my Wiccat got sparked, or like they used Dominus Spark on my Wiccat when I summoned the first one because I activated Match in hand. And then I just made another one afterwards, and then like scooped. It was like, okay, well, sure, good enough. Like they just scooped after I made the second one in the same turn. Like that does happen. You could also get an argue for not playing stuff like SP. I would definitely not argue that because although of course you can't make it on your first turn if you're locking yourself into spellcasters, which like both Match and Genya do. Uh, like these both lock you into spellcasters, but I'd much rather have the flexibility in my extra deck of being able to play an SP for a follow-up turn. Like I played games, especially against card like decks like Branded, where they can just super poly you into like they can super poly your board or like their board and your board into a Secretarion. If they summon Secretarion, you have no way out it. You're just fucked. Like you have nothing you can do against it. Your entire extra deck is spellcasters. You have to either super poly them back or droplet them. Or you can do that, but or you can try to just attack directly and kill them using ball with just a bunch of fairy tales on board, which is just another like one of the best parts about this deck. Honestly, is just the fact that you can just uh, attack directly with all the fairy tales and kill them. Again, that's why I prefer to have the fairy. Another reason why I prefer the fairy tales over just the more Magus focused stuff is because yeah, this is powerful, but I'd rather have the flexibility of just being able to summon a bunch of monsters, like a bunch of fairy tales, which they do very well. Like I can easily summon 5 fairy tales, or I can easily summon 3 fairy tales, get a snow on the field, and then a Wiccat in the graveyard, and then just attack for game. Right? That's happened to me multiple times before, And it's much easier to do something like that than try to focus on breaking an opponent's board when I can just bypass it completely and just attack directly. Like it's a weird thing. It's weird that they had this effect as on the card, but I'm not complaining, right? Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. Talk about the SP. I'd much rather have the flexibility of being able to do this, especially because it's very easy to have an extra deck monster in the field with Wiccat in the graveyard, because you can just summon it back anytime during the opponent's turn or your turn, and then on your turn you just link it off into the SP with another monster, and bam, you can get the link summon effect because you used an XD monster. Very easy to do. Very like a lot more flexible in my opinion. Allows you to out cards like Secretarion if someone super polis you, because otherwise you're kind of fucked if they do. Like if they super poly you into Secretarion and you survive, and like even if you survive, if you don't have a way to out it next turn, you're just kind of fucked. So you just got like SP is a great way to out problematic cards. Or like banish stuff from the graveyard. For instance, if they have like a Brain Infusion in the graveyard, you can banish with SP. It's like the only real way for this deck to interact with shit in the opponent's graveyard, which this deck otherwise wouldn't really be able to do. Against stuff like Cool Tune, you can target their monster in the field, and if they change to try to negate it, then you can go SP response. Again, just more flexible or more flexibility for the deck, like on a follow up turn. So this is more like a follow up turn. Like you make this on a follow up turn, rather than most of the time you don't make it at all, or you would make it on the first turn. I do think the Golden Alert Queen is. I didn't think about like I don't think I've ever seen anyone play that. I actually think it's very decent in the archetype, just because like honestly, if I were to cut down this extra deck just to not play this like a bunch of these cards, like not play this combo, I would probably still play the Alert Queen just because even though it does use 3 Spellcaster monsters, that's pretty decent. Like that's a pretty decent cost for like a pretty strong effect, right? There's no cost to this. It just says once per turn when you point activates a card effect, destroy a card in the field. Not even it doesn't even have to be your field, or it doesn't even have to be your opponent's field. You can destroy a card on your field too if you really need to. And it doesn't like it's non-targeting destruction that can be on anywhere on the field, which is really good. Also, it becomes immune to card destruction, like destruction effects itself that turn. So it's a pretty big beat at 25. It's only cost 3 spellcasters. It's like a pretty decent card. I've never seen. I don't think I've seen anyone play this card in their extra deck. I think it's like really solid. I guess if you really want to, you could special summon. Like you could play an Alert Queen monster to special summon. Looking at these now, I don't think there's anything useful that you can play, especially because these had to be summoned by like okay, once per turn your main phase, you can select one level 3 monster. Okay, that does nothing. What about this one? This has to be summoned by level 3, so this does nothing. Okay, what about this one? This has to be summoned by level 7 or 5, so this does nothing. Okay, some of these do anything, as I thought. I don't know why these cards don't do anything. There's also this. This is the new one. This is quote unquote the new one. So, what does this one do? Okay, if you discard, okay, if you could, you can special one. Okay, I guess you could like, in theory, go Alert Queen, summon out Chaos Alert Queen, and then this would equip one like there's a bunch of light monsters in the graveyard, so you equip a light or a dark monster. Then you could special summon another Alert Queen from your deck, so you get 2 extra bodies in field. I guess you could make a rank 7 because you could summon Alert Queen level 7. I don't know if there's any rank 7 spellcasters that are worth playing. Uh, I kind of doubt there are. At least that you can make with 2 level 7s. Maybe if you had more level 7s, but I kind of doubt there are any that are worth playing at level or rank 7. Let's look here. This needs 3. This would be good, but you need 3. Big Eye is not quick effect. Ebon High Magician doesn't really help here. Hierophant of Prophecy does not do anything. Big Eye is not a quick effect, like I said. And then Ebon Illusion Magician also does nothing because this just summons a normal spellcaster. So that doesn't do anything either. Yeah, I guess you could like activate a Solemn in your hand with Ebon High Magician. Is that good? And during your opponent's turn, by the way. I mean, I guess like the destruction effect is pretty cool. Um, like that's pretty cool. But that still seems pretty bad. It does say if it's just sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, 'cause like that is hard to out with convincingly. Like you had to like SP it. Otherwise, it would just send a card or destroy a card, like especially when that's Dark Spellcaster from your deck or hand or deck, right? You hand or deck and then destroy a card on the field. That's not bad, but like I don't think this is worth playing two shitty bricks in your deck. Well, you know what? I guess the Alert Queen, the Chaos Alert Queen, is not technically a brick because this just says discard one of their light or dark monster. I guess this is not entirely a brick. And it does, to be fair, like it does easily just like you just had to discard any light. Let's say okay, let's actually map this out. So you discard. Let's say you go Alert Queen, discard a fucking like Ghost Ogre, summon itself out, equip the Ghost Ogre, then you can summon any Alert Queen from your graveyard, from your deck or from your deck. Is it deck or graveyard? From your deck or graveyard. So you just say you say you summon. Why can this summon another one of a copy of itself? That's pretty funny. Oh, I guess actually you don't even have to play Alert Queen the whole summon. You could just play the same thing. Yeah, you could just play another one. So yeah, I guess you could just summon. Oh no, it's a light monster. Okay, so you have to summon another one. So let's say you summon Alert Queen level 7. Uh, then what? What does that do? You've accomplished you've accomplished summoning 2 monsters without your normal summon, but you can't make a level 4. You can't make a rank 4, so you can't make Wickhat because they're not level 4s. They're not 1850s, so you can't summon out match. They're not. Actually, wait. Hold on. Okay, wait. So let's say you summon out. If you summon out level 3, then you can make Artemis. Then Artemis goes into Endymion, or then you go Artemis and Chaos Alert Queen into Endymion. Endymion, do the Artemis, or Endymion target Artemis. Then Artemis search out Spenta search out the. I guess you could do a Spenta search out Zora. So I guess you could do that, although that seems pretty bad. Um, I guess it is a one like a quote unquote one card, like it's like a 1.5 card combo. Without that, well, the problem is like it still uses your normal summon. Um, like that would make a Verathana. I guess that's kind of cool. It makes Verathana, but that still seems pretty bad. Um, whatever. I don't think that's worth playing. But anyways, the point is like the Alert Queen or Alert Queen link is pretty good. I think it's also helpful in case you get drolled. Just to show like let's say you get drolled here, so um I don't know. Sure, let's say you get drolled after Luna. So you search out a match, they droll you, you're like, oh shit, I got drolled. So you get this. I don't know if you can. Let me see what happens. What happens if you do this? So you do this. Bam, bam. Do that. Yeah. So you get drolled. I guess you're already drolled at this point. Um, I guess you don't have any other monster, right? Actually, let's say you like just for I don't think you can do it with that. So just to like for fun's sake, let's say that you didn't search this. Like let's say you start with these two. Uh, well, I guess like why would you have to Luna then? But anyways, point is, let's say you just have this. So they draw you here, like after the match effect. So you get access to. Let's say you search out like the ball, right? I guess for fun. And now they draw you. Although again, that like does the exact same thing. um, yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I guess you could go like this is, again. This is like kind of funny, but let's say you start with, I guess you start with like these two in hand, which is not common, right? Not impossible. Or you could also start with that. So you start with this, you go search out match, they droll you, and you're like, oh shit, I got drolled. You go summon Genya. You could be the same way if you did that too. But anyways, you go. Nah, like you're like, oh shit, I got drolled. What am I gonna do now? Let's see what we can do here. So again, you have to draw like Luna plus Genya or Luna plus match. So this is kind of a iffy combo, but it is what it is. This is where the Vera spell would come in handy. Yeah, this is where the Vera thing would be useful. Anyway, so we do this, and you're like, oh shit. At this point, you would definitely. This is the situation where you would do Once Upon a Time in Graveyard. Now we do this, and like, yes, let's go. Normal summon, it would literally not do anything for me, so I don't care. Yeah, I mean, you don't really need to do that, but I'm just trying to see if I can actually make. You could also just go into the. I'm just trying to see if I can actually make the Alert Queen link here. I don't even know if that's worth it, but we'll see. Um, no, I guess I can't. Yeah, I guess you can't make it because like it wouldn't work if I'm under a duel. Oh well. I mean, I guess you still have interruption here, but whatever. I mean, I guess at least at this point, I don't think you're. Oh no, you are locked, right? You are locked in spellcast because the you are locked in spellcast again, yeah. But yeah, this doesn't actually do anything. Oh no, well, no, it doesn't work. Um, what you could do at this point, I guess, would just be like the for funsies. We would go. I'd do this. Although again, that's just like I don't know why you would need to get rid of the Weaver for this. But anyways, yeah, point is can't make it without that. So still a good card though. Still a good card. It's not like you can make anything else that's useful. There's no really good spellcaster link. Or link to that is. Not right now at least. Anyways, yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. This is really long. See ya.